It would be nice if we could all organise, but I find even in the organisation I run, people come in at different levels, at different points. And for example, some people may be there because they've got a real big ego to feed. And the good thing about our group is that we'd make that person know, say, yo, it's not about that. And that person, even if he doesn't see it at that time, maybe 6 weeks later, they might see it and they say, thank you for giving me some constructive criticism, if you like, you know? But I don't personally see a time when we all will be able to work together, all of us have our thing together, but I do see a time when a lot more people see the need to do some work and actually get involved. It's just really about organisations getting out there. One thing I must say is that over here, like to my right, we have Simba, and some of you may know him, some of you may not know him. But the reason why I mentioned Simba, and you've also got a guy here who runs this thing today, Joseph. Now I know Simba and I know Joseph. Now what about Joseph at the back? And both of them can tell you that when I was actually doing the fundraising for the shows, there's a lot of people who don't necessarily like each other. However, I managed to get them together to do the cause, you know, to commit this, you know, to complete a particular work. And so we'd like to thank even Simba and Joseph because they too bought tickets to help us put on our shows to make a school. The reason why I went through all of that is to let you know that I grew up in a time and a place where people say to me, you can't trust black men because, for whatever reason, until they say you can't trust black men, you can't trust black women. If there's a shop, an Asian man have a shop there, the white person got a shop there, the black man would not go to his own shop because he believes their two teeth are, they've got some reason why they don't support each other. And so I've always been told that black people don't support each other, black people don't trust each other. And if you should even trust someone, they'll run away with the money. So it's a monetary thing, you're giving someone some money, people believe will run away with the money. But that ain't my personal experience, because like I said, Sir Zimmer, he saw the calls and he just joined in, and there's a lot of people that saw what he was doing and they just helped. And it made me, and also, went to do the school, I actually had Asian people, white people, Chinese people, black people from all different parts of the diaspora helping to put this thing together. And this is the thing what I was told would never be done. So, and the main core of it is 40 of us in the fathers group, and we all come together for a particular cause. Some of them believe in religion, some of them don't believe in religion, some believe there's a God, no God. We don't get to that, we just look at what is the mission and we just get to the point.
I agree with most of what Patrick said, but not all of it. I do think that there will be a time when we can work together because the whole climate has changed. So whereas small groups could go out and get funding by themselves, now you need to join up with other groups to get funding. So we need to kind of, you know, pick up ourselves and work together. I do quite a lot of work with young people, and it's really interesting. We did some research last year with some young BME youngsters from all different backgrounds, but all BME backgrounds, and we were saying, you know, what is it like being a BME youngster, and why don't you use traditional services, and what services will you use? And you know what they said? They said this isn't a black thing or an Asian thing, or this is a young people thing. This is a young people thing. We have a young people culture. So we're not like you guys. We're different. We're young people. So we're a separate group of young people. And I think that in a way we need to embrace that because they will all grow up together and hopefully do what we have felt consistently to do, which is to support each other to make a difference. But the current climate is that you need to be a consortium, you need to be a large group of people doing the same work to get money. If that doesn't force us to change, nothing else will.
Any last questions?
Yeah, funding. You touched on that. As you mentioned it, and Pauline touched on it. You said that if somebody doesn't agree with you, it doesn't mean he goes home and sits down. He goes and starts an organisation going the same way. But the thing about it is, when you go for funding, if there's 5 of you, only one of you can get the funding. Which means that organisation can only reach so much. I think Pauline just answered that we have to become a consultant, and that brings us back to my original question: how can we work together under one umbrella as one big consortium? Was an engagement. Marcus Garvey didn't get on with WB because of the light skin and the dark skin team, educated and uneducated. Malcolm X didn't get on with Luther King because he said Luther King was too weak. Yeah, so it's a long-term thing. How do we, because it's all about funding, how do we get past that and join up together? Because we have to join together to get the funding. How do you see us doing that going forward?
Well, in my experience, I found there's a lot of scamming, a lot of, what's the word I want to say? A lot of trickery, if you like, going on. Yeah, do you know? So, for an example, I remember doing a project with Bernardo's, and this project they had to do exactly what you said, work with other small or other organisations in regards to how small they were. But what a scam kind of notice is very often that big organisations will say they're working in partnership with small organisations, but the real thing is that they're getting the vast majority of the money, so they might get 100 grand. They might give £2,000 to your organisation and 2,000 to yours, but they've written out the form as if it was partnership. So, and because people are at different levels when they come into the funding game, they're not aware of all the scams basically, what's out there. You know? Like I said, in our organisation at the Fathers Group, we had to, when we stopped being funded by Lucian Council, we had to then find our own funding. We wasn't actually going to organise it, wasn't going to know government bodies for this money. And we, as black people particularly, we had a thing called partnerships running for years, so we can actually put money into something and get something out. So we found to do for self is probably for us is the best thing, because no one can pull away the carpet underneath your feet, or when the money's run out, the whole thing crash. So, and also, again, what I noticed with funding, I've been like up and down the country where people have been trying to set up Fathers Group. I remember seeing a white English lady from Huddersfield who was given a lot of money to set up a Somalian black Fathers Group. And she never knew nothing about the Somalian culture, never been there, and didn't know where to contact them to outreach them. However, she was still given a big amount of money. And the people who was meant to get the money, as far as I'm concerned, who would know how to contact them and do the thing, they aren't filling out the forms, unfortunately.
I think you're right, but I think, you know, we need to wise up. We need to wise up. I think the days of sort of looking to blame other people, there are some things we can blame people for, but you have to be one step ahead. So, you know, when there are funding applications, we've lost our confidence. For lots and lots of reasons, over the years we've lost our confidence. Now is the time to build our confidence. I had a meeting with Heritage Lottery last year because I wanted to help a local group in Reading, where I live, chart their 40 years of success. 40 years of a black women's group. They've got supplementary schools, they've got women's groups, they've got after-school clubs, they've got homework club. 40 years. When I did a draft for the lottery, Heritage Lottery, they came to see us and they said, we don't get any BME groups applying for this funding. We get tiny amounts, and yet we will do anything to support BME groups to do this stuff, but they're not coming to us because we can't just sit back, we don't have the confidence, think we can't do it, and then we don't. But actually we need to wise up, and we need to be making relationships with these funders. We need to say to them, you know, I've got this project, where does it fit? Because if it doesn't fit in that group, they will tell you which funding group it will fit with. But that's about how we feel about ourselves as a group. We need to wise up. We've got a lot of skills and we keep them hidden. most communities don't keep them hidden, but for some reason we seem to want to keep them hidden. So I think the ones of us who are out there, we have a responsibility to help the others who could be out there. And if we all get together, somehow we should make things better for ourselves, because there is money out there. We just need to find out how to get it. And if there are free seminars on funding, we need to be there. We need to get there. And I think, you know, we need to take some responsibility for ourselves as well.
I like to say, saying that a lot of the small organisations don't know how to go about getting funding. So it's for people such as yourself to get in contact with them and let them be aware. Because if you don't know what road to go down, you're going to stay short. So a lot of black organisations don't have the know-how how to go about funding or how to fill out the forms even, you know? Because a lot of organisations, when they're going for funding, they need people like the chair. Somebody has to be responsible for the money that they have to answer for. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to open up the floor. But what I like to say is, I remember some time ago, during the Thatcher years, there was a black organisation in North West London, a youth club. And believe it or not, this is the Thatcher government. The Thatcher government, because they was doing a lot of good work, so a lot of money. This is black people. The Thatcher government gave them £1 million, and the man ran off with the money. I'll always remember that, because it was the Thatcher government that gave us North West London. They was running a youth service, and they was doing a lot of work. So all stuck in my mind, and they gave him £1 million, and the man ran off with the money. But as Pauline said, it's always up to us. We can go out and ask for help from the powers that be, but we need our own strong, self-sustaining base.
I think they were shocked.
Huh?
I think they were shocked. The Thatcher government came to it and had to get down.
They were shocked. That's why they ran off with the money,
What I've noticed myself personally is that for a lot of people who do get funding, coming like the more unworthy they are to get it, is the more likely they're going to get it. And I think the reasons for this is because I think if they know that they give it to you and they're going to run off with it, they've got an excuse never to give it to you again. So I think they just look for all the bad boys there in the community, because that's what I've seen, whether it be up in Brixton or up in North London. If you're a drug seller and a drug pusher and anything else, pink, wear it, that's the qualification to get the £1 million.
And also, I find that when you go to the powers that be for funding, you have to be careful how you describe yourself. Because if you're going to do the correct works, yeah, that's not really what they want. They won't understand the correct works, what is needed. Because their system isn't set up in favour of us, it's against us, I personally think. So when you describe exactly the type of work you're going to do, you have to be careful. You have to know how to hide your real intentions. I personally think, because they won't give you the funding. If you don't agree with that,
I actually don't agree with that. I think that we need to learn the words that they use and the language that they use to describe the work that we do. That's what we need to do. Because they have words and things and phraseologies, and so we need to learn their language. That's what we need to do.
Joseph? Okay, that's it.